Oh shit. All right, well there it is. There it is. Trying to get my space situated here. Trying to get things situated here. Facing the sun. A little better. I was gonna sit in the shade, but the sun's gonna kind of move behind the tree anyway. So the shade's coming my way. That's another thing, man. What's going on, world? What's going on, world? Before I forget. What's going on with your world? Trying to get in as much sun as I can. Let me move this around a bit. I want to get things perfected. You know, the Wednesday live chat. You know, it's a Wednesday. Everyone's kind of I feel like most people have a slump on Wednesday. You know, if it's not Wednesday, it's Monday. Monday, most people will have a like a slow get up, if you will, a little rise to their day, and then some people reserve most of the energy for Wednesday on Hump Day because it's just like they want to get through the majority of the week. So either they'll save their energy for Wednesday or Thursday. Some people save it for Friday, but that's just something I've seen that people either have the lowest energy or the highest energy on Wednesday. It's just kind of a weird thing. So I've been noticing it a bit too. I actually dropped in on a called a it's my people over there, and energy seemed a little low. I was like, damn, hopefully they're not too sad right now. You know, people dealing with health complications here and there. Other people dealing with just real life. I don't know, some family stuff. I wanted to ask people a little more questions. I didn't want to probe too much. I get a little worried. I want to make sure everyone's doing okay. So, little shit I be thinking about. You know, little things I worry about, little things that I have in the back of my mind here and there. That mixed with a combination of just yeah. I think this morning I had called in the community center. I asked if they had the open gym hours. They told me it was later in the afternoon. But the fitness room is open, so I was like, I might have to drop in there. And I said that yesterday, but I was like, this morning wasn't feeling too good. I was like, body feels like it needs to just recover and rest a little bit. So we're gonna make it a library kind of day. You know what I mean? Do some library stuff. Get get situated with the logistics on the channel. Might update a few things here and there. Might update like actually I need to see because I think my schedule moved now from 12:30 to like 11, or if not 3. So like my prime time hours moved to about 3 o'clock. So depending on what happens around 3, I might just switch my shorts list. But that's a whole other conversation. You know, that's another conversation right there. But that's just me. I'm in the Dragon Quest 8 era as much as I am in the Final Fantasy Tactics era, Tactics Advanced especially. So if I get some time tonight, maybe I'll really sit back down and buckle down on getting more of those clips, more of those videos going, trying to get as much as I can. But we out here right now doing what we can with the content. Let me slide over. If there's a little better, because I can't even see the chat. It's so bright. I can't even see the chat. As much as I want to be in the sun, as much as I want to sit in the sun, I can't even see the chat. There we go. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with everything. It's really interesting. I was talking to my cousin the other day. I was like, it's kind of funny because um, it's like I like when you go live because you're just staying whatever. And I was like, my issue was that if I continuously go live, all I talk about is my motivation for that day, and it gets a little redundant. But it's just me affirming myself. I'm just sitting there having affirmations for myself. But sometimes in between those moments, if I'm going to the gym, going to work, whatever, it gives me a few things to talk about, a few things to reflect on. So it has some stuff like some daily worth, if you will, some daily um, I don't know, revelations, if like little shit like that. Like you just be coming across like certain, like I started, you get cool with certain people at work, you get cool with certain people just out in public or just at certain stores you frequent or whatever, and just little places you go in the neighborhood, and then you start to realize just a little fundamental differences here and there, and like some people they don't want to be able to talk to you unless they can talk to you a certain way. Some people don't want to be able to talk to you unless certain people are not in the room or other people are present, and you start realizing these things. So it's like as much as I value the one-on-one conversations I have with people, I realize that like as long as they treat me with the same respect if there's more people in the room, or if they don't have an audience. We'll see how that really goes, you know. So I be thinking about that stuff a lot. Workplace is pretty much like the encompassing thing of all that. Corez edits. Am I saying that correctly? Corez, what's going on, man? Corez, man. Let me know if I'm saying your name correctly, but I appreciate you dropping in. Thank you for being here. So I think about that sometimes, you know. How you doing, man? You doing all right today? As you can see, it's pretty temperament's pretty good. I mean, temperature's pretty good today. It's like low 70s if anything, so it's pretty chill. We're talking Fahrenheit, so my bad if you're from a different area. We're like the only country that uses Fahrenheit, so I forgot the formula for it. It was like 2 something, 2.3 or 3.2 or something like that. There's a way to formulate this, 2.8, something like that. I forget. My bad, my bad. But yeah, I think about that sometimes, man. You know, like I'm not that tight with everybody, but at the same time, pause. But like at the same time, I you know, I think it's important to check in with people. I think it's important to talk to people. You know, if I frequent seeing certain individuals, I feel like I don't want to say it's my duty, but I feel like I'm supposed to be able to talk to them and ask them how they're doing and stuff. So when I meet people that I kind of just going through stuff and like I can't really check in with them, it's like, damn, it kind of seems like a tricky situation for me. It shouldn't be, but it is. How am I doing, Corez? I'm actually doing all right this morning. You know, I got the iced coffee, so it's a little lukewarm right now. I'm trying to get a little more sunlight, but like I said, the sun is moving. I can't really tell. It might move a little higher, so either I'll move the bench if I get too much sunlight in my eyes, but we'll see how this goes. I might just move spots. It don't really matter. I'm doing all right though, Corez. 1 second. I'm just making sure. You know, appreciate you being here. Like I said before, yeah, bro. So I'm just thinking about that. I was thinking about a lot of you know, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Not you. What's going on, man? How you doing, man? Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for dropping in, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I was thinking about it's funny because I'm over here dropping in doing community center shit, but I might have to start frequenting different little spots here and there. My thing was like, I'm thinking about in terms of community now. There's always like sub community, you know what I mean? There's always like people within it, like within the greater community. There's always like sub things, and like there's always gonna be this thing of like, I don't want to say rebellion, but like I be sensing shit sometimes. Like I be in I get an example. I came from the boxing community, so you had like small groups that existed within the actual gym space, but they seem to be a little more tight with pause, you know, kind of with each other, but not necessarily the head coaches and you know things like that. So I think about shit like that, where it's like on every level of school, whether even Beyblade kind of has its own thing, which is funny as hell. Um, and then even the basketball stuff right now, the internet stuff, you know what I mean? The whatever, however you want to put it. Yo, man, I got too much sun in my eyes. Let me switch seats real quick. Where am I from, bro? I'm in the States, man. Let me know where you're from, not you. Let me know where you're from, man. I'm in the States, though. Let me see. I got too much sun in my eye real quick. But yeah, so I think about this sometimes where like these subdivisions kind of get built here and there. And I've been kind of just like noticing a few things like you know, it's like weird, man. It's like because the thing is I'm cool with everyone. So I always hear this weird like I hear this weird like talk between different groups here and there, and I'm just like, what? It sounds like y'all be throwing shots at each other, but never talking to each other directly, and it forces me almost to kind of just stay on the outs of everyone, which I hate. But I'm just like I be hating that shit sometimes. You know, sometimes I'm in different areas, like even like in the workplace. I'll give an example. You're from India, all right, man. It's interesting because I'll be in the workspace sometimes, and it's like we have a little small talk amongst each other because you know we got certain people that try to play being leads or supervisors and stuff like that, and they're not even on that level, but they try to pretend to be. So obviously, you have small groups that be like, man, what's wrong with what's going on with bro? Why does he talk that way? Why is he acting like this? And then when they're in front of them, you know, we're not really upfront with them, and like that's my issue. Was like I feel like I got to be upfront with dude, and let them like, man, we don't got you don't got to talk to us like that, man. Like, part of me feels like I have to say some shit. But it's funny because like when you're the person that speaks out, which I don't think there's nothing wrong with, you end up being the person on the outs, which is wild. So I think about this stuff sometimes where I'm like, it used to work. It used to feel like it would work in my favor to kind of just speak out and be honest about everything. But it also made certain people a little more comfortable, which is kind of like not good or bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, what's going on, Lilith? Thank you for dropping in. Appreciate you being here. So I think about that sometimes. Like I noticed like because I went through it on a heavy level. You know, people got real comfortable with me at my last workplace, and I almost had to knock some heads. Because of that, I'm very vigilant of like just finding like little pockets here and there where I'm just hearing people like just doing the little small talk here and there, and I'm like, let me know if I'm scoping some disrespect or not, because I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand the side talk without the solution, if that makes sense, you know. Because I'll go out on a limb, like I use the Beyblade community as an example. Like I've been in there where we've had people kind of they either came across as intrusive or problematic, and then you had to have a conversation on the side about these people before you actually address them, which is fair because you want the community's input and resolve on it. So I understand that part, but like sometimes, man, I be around people and there's no solution. That's why, like, it's funny. I left the convenience store. I got my coffee from. Shout out to my guy Daniel at Madrona Market, man. But that's my guy Daniel right there. Shout out to him. And he just came. He said, "Congrats on the new job." He just said, "Congrats on the new job" to me. And as you said it, I walked out the store just kind of feeling away, like, you know, it's funny because I like the new job, but I don't know how I feel about it sometimes, man. Because it's the same workplace environment where like you got people that are always gonna find out, trying to figure out more about you, more so than they can actually divulge about themselves, just to have some shit to talk about. And that's just like, I don't like being reserved like that. I like being in, you know, places and spaces where I'm respected, if not, um, you know, treated a certain way, fairly, if you will. You know what I mean? So I'll be thinking about that stuff. My bad. Make sure my chat's going good. I thought the sun was moving, bro. I don't know if the sun is moving, so I don't know. I might have to move benches because I'm starting to get like glare in my eye. But no, I think about that shit where I'm like, that's like normal workplace shit, and like you can either just stay quiet or stay away from it. But I'm also like, I'm not a dodgy type person, man. I'm also not like super confrontational because like I might come across that way, but it's just like I just need certain things addressed. I need certain disrespect, and I need certain like whatever addressed sometimes. So, but I'm scoping it. Like sometimes I'm overreading and overlooking into shit. It don't matter if it's this community, the next one, the workplace community. It don't matter what it is. I'm just like looking into shit. Like I don't mean to be scoping too hard, but I think about this stuff sometimes. Like, you know, but I don't go back to work. I don't go back to work till Thursday, I should say. It's just a little small talk. I'm just like, what is this shit, man? What's that mean? What's the true meaning about this? I'm not trying to dance around nothing. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak to people honestly and whatnot, explicitly, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But you can't expect everyone to be solid, man. I had a conversation with a friend. What's it called? I had a conversation with a friend long. Like I knew this dude since like first grade, and we kind of like, you know, we last time we hung out was like high school, but we didn't really. He went to college and all that shit. And all those years in between, he was working. We're kind of just like we run into each other. That's about it. But we reconnected a couple weeks ago. He was telling me about you know, one of his relatives that had passed, but me and him were chopping it up. And he was telling me about one of these guys that he got cool with back in the college days, and up until now, you know, they start tripping, they start, you know, trying to fuck on his ex, all this weird shit, all this goofy shit. And I'm also like, I was like, yeah, but even though you develop principles over time and you're trying to stand on it, you can't expect this individual to be you, because if they were in your shoes, yeah, they would do the same thing. They would try to, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't necessarily be honorable because they're not earning the girl that you're dating. So they have to like fantasize over leftovers. Like, you know, I think about that when I hear people talking about swooping in and doing weird shit like that. I'm like, I try to steer them a certain way because I'm like, that's weirdo talk, really, man. That's weirdo talk when you talk about actually knowing someone or being aware of someone and then trying to swoop in and take an ex girlfriend or somewhere. Like it's goofy talk, you know. I don't like it. It's unhealthy. But he was saying that about one of these guys he got real tight and close with. He used to be roommates with him, and I'm just like, you can imagine like every day you're roommates with him. He's seen you on a certain way. You probably were on a certain pedestal, which is interesting to think about. But you can't expect him to be you, because you know if he was in your shoes, this is how he would have treated the women that you respect, etc. So you know, I think about shit like that. Rami King, what's going on? Rami or Rami King, what's going on? How you doing, bro? So these are little things that I kind of just all of these things kind of presented itself in front of me from the past month. Like I'm just starting to, things are kind of whatever. Like I had to mediate some community shit within the Beyblade stuff. I was talking to my friend who was grieving his relative, his dead elder relative. Um, the workspace is interesting because like I said, the dude that we was talking, like he's a funny dude, like he's a goofball. That dude, we were kind of clowning him on the side because we're like, "What's wrong with bro? I might have to talk to him." That's all I could think about. Like I might have to talk to this dude. But then like lo and behold, one of the guys who like he's not really a lead, but I call him a lead, I guess. Like he actually took the lead and like, "Hey man, I heard it's his birthday today." So they put him to the side and then we all sang happy birthday Stevie Wonder style to him. So it was like a sweet little thing. And then the guy, he's kind of on a, I don't know if he's Down syndrome or if he's on a spectrum, but he's like, hold on guys. He pulled out his phone, he started recording us. I was like, that's pretty sweet. But it's just kind of funny because it's like literally the past couple of days, everybody was kind of dogging him, but then we all came together and sang happy birthday for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's funny shit like that where you know, um, I like I said, I thought I had to talk to this dude. I thought I had to not necessarily confront him, but I thought I was gonna have to sit there and have a conversation with him. Like, hey man, you don't have to talk to us a certain way. We got it figured out. What's going on, Timothy? I was like, you don't have to talk to us a certain way. You don't have to like we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all in the same position here as workers. Like you don't got to talk to us a certain way. I thought I was gonna have to confront him, but apparently the one of the managers was sitting there like, hey man, I need you to like he was talking to the dude who was tripping. He's like, you need to dial that back. I need you to dial the energy back. I need you to kind of focus a little bit. I just need you to focus. But they talked to him very reasonably. But I don't know. I was losing my shit, low key. I was like, yeah, we gotta deal with, bro. Like all day, man. That's crazy. Matter of fact, I only deal with him for like 2 hours, but he's a good dude. We all agree he's a good dude, but it's just he takes shit out of bounds sometimes. He goes overboard. He takes it out of bounds, bro. Like, come on, man, you got to do this. But yeah, and I'm worried. I'm part of my worry is like I don't know if I can not speak to him respectfully or not. Can I please not cuss? No, I'm a cuss, bro. I don't know if you're talking about Timothy. If you don't, the thing about this, Timothy, you can swipe up and just go to the next live if you want to find someone who don't cuss. But right here, I'm gonna be cussing here. Like it's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come out a certain way. You know what I mean? If you want to do if you're gonna hit me with a paragraph or a speech about why I should or shouldn't, maybe you should do you got to do a live stream yourself, or you talk about why it's important to you that you don't cuss. But I don't know where you get off going on other people's like lives, like trying to tell them what they can and can't do or shouldn't do, man. This is kind of my space here, man. Like that's what I'm saying. I appreciate you being here. That's why I said what's up to you, Timothy. Like I appreciate you being here, but I don't appreciate when people try to tell me what to say and what not to say. I mean, I didn't say this nothing necessarily disrespectful. I'm just kind of expressing myself using cuss words, but I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I appreciate you being here. But if you want to find one where there's no one cussing, you could swipe and find something. You could find some ASMR. You're asking, and I'm telling you, I don't do that, man. I'm gonna be cussing. I'm letting you know right now. I just be cussing, but I'm setting the tone right now, bro. That's all it is. That's all it is. Appreciate you, Timothy. Yeah, but it's wild because it's like for whatever reason, like the past couple of no, you're good, Don't worry about it. Um, the past couple like months and I guess like since the beginning of the year, all I've ever tried to scope out was just weird stuff. Like I see little, like weird disrespectful stuff here and there. I guess I catch it, man. It's kind of funny. It's like I see it sometimes. I really catch like I'll give an example. Like within certain spaces, you run into people. There's like, oh, those are the quiet people over there. We don't really talk or deal with them, which is fair. I was like, okay, okay. And then the people that they're actually comfortable with, they get so comfortable that they're willing to kind of like back to cussing. They'll cuss them out or even disrespect them in the wrong way. And it's just like, damn, you got real comfortable speaking to someone that you actually talk to on the daily. So I think about that sometimes, or like I see it in like each space I'm in, where I'm like, okay, it's one like I get it. People make friends, and if you're real comfortable with that friend, or you consider someone a brother, like you're gonna talk to them a certain way. But I think a lot of people forget that things are a two-way street. Things are a two-way street where like if the feeling's not mutual, I don't know if those people should really disrespect each other like that. But I'm saying this from a perspective of I've had people come at me sideways a little bit, like just in general. Like they got close to me, they feel close enough to talk to me a certain way, disrespectfully. And this is in person. This is in person what I'm speaking on. So it's funny because when that's happening, it's like I guess I don't really need to be like I don't need to keep in touch with this person in the long run. It's like this is how they speak to people that they're comfortable with, and it's not okay with me. But all of a sudden, if I speak up on it, it's not even about speaking up for myself. If I speak on it, all of a sudden I'm on the outs, or I'm disrespectful, or I'm a piece of shit for like calling. You know what I mean? So like it's weird like that. So it's funny. Like I said, hung out with my cousin the other day. She's like, "This is why I'm a hermit because of things like this. People try to, some people have a confusion to who they are and their identity, and they project their bullshit onto other people sometimes just to get like a reaction, if not a confirmation, whether it's something that you're confirming their identity, if not you're confirming an argument, So that's one of those things I've been seeing unraveling the whole year, bro. Like all couple months, I've just been seeing it. It's like this is what people do. Like people present themselves in like a fake, honest fashion, only to just get certain reactions and stuff like that. And it rubs me the wrong way. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It hits me. Um, it doesn't bode well with where I'm at. Like my aims for just like simple, what I'm saying, peace or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like this ain't even there's nothing peaceful about this, but I don't know, my bad. I was trying to go back to this little quote that I read probably like last year or something funny. I forget exactly how it goes, but it's something to the effect of, you don't necessarily have to wait to become something. You can kind of just become it now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like people are like, oh, I got to wait for a certain amount of money or retirement money to find peace or to finally retire and rest. And it's just like, no, you can do certain actions that facilitate rest, retirement, and peacefulness right now, and you can kind of like usher yourself into peacefulness in a way easier way when it finally comes around the corner by just simply channeling and conducting yourself peacefully in the moment. You see what I'm trying to say? Like there's ways to do that, and there's ways that can be done. It's not impossible. People do it in the reverse order, where people who want to be a little more assertive, they just start becoming more assertive, and then it kind of just starts working for them. People who want to be respected, they start respecting themselves more, and then they end up getting the respect from other people. People who start loving themselves more, they start receiving love from everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's just little things like that where it's just like, yeah, you start finding peace within yourself. You'll see who, back to the two-way streets, back to the double-edged sword. You'll see who's over here trying to disturb that peace, who's trying to disrupt it. You'll find it. You know what I'm saying? You'll find them people, and then when they become evident to you, you just know, like, oh yeah, I don't have to necessarily march forward. I can steer from that. You got to remember sometimes you're always able to steer. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a free-flowing soul or like a a human body, you can just literally remove yourself from situations, and it's one of them things where I'm starting to kind of see it a little more and tap into it. Where I'm like, that's all I really. These are the only reminders I needed sometimes. Where it's like I don't need to, you know, be here and do this. If that makes sense. So I think about that, bro. I be thinking about it sometimes. I think about like people who have choice words. Like I said, I respect it if like, oh, you're talking amongst friends, and this is how you friends talk to each other. But if you're talking to your friends and family members, but you're choosing to be overtly disrespectful, that's almost like, oh, that's your level of comfort. You need people that you love to beat down on. That's probably some trauma cycles that you really need to work on. That's probably something deeper within yourself that is, as it's coming out in the worst way. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like I'm very mindful and cognizant of noticing these things, and like I know people would. It's always the people preaching about mental health and like therapy and shit. They be the most toxic sometimes. It's always it's always them, bro. And like I put myself in that same boat. If necessary, I'll put myself in that same boat because I've been in a position where I've toxically, in a very, I don't want to say toxic, maybe, but like in an overbearing manner, tried to help people out a lot. Made it about me helping them. Made it about me knowing what I was talking about. And that's not necessarily healthy either or toxic. What's going on with the crow though? See the crow? Get down here. Got the crow up on the wire over here talking to me. Get down here, bro. Matter of fact, I should have brought. I keep saying this, but I should have brought some snacks. But it is what it is. He'll come down if he wants to get something to eat. But I have nothing on me right now. I got coffee though. But yeah, I be scoping little things like this, man. And I'm like, obviously, it doesn't matter if you move to another country, another city, because that's kind of where my mind has been at. Doesn't matter where you go, bro. I'm not saying the trouble will necessarily follow you, but if you're not right within or like the right person you need to be, you'll be bringing that same energy and those same worries and stuff when you enter them spaces. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you go out of state. Oh, I'm moving to a new city, new state, get a fresh start. You might be bringing the same problems with you if the problem is yourself, and you'll find out once you get there. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to learn that. Starting to learn that a whole lot. Um, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say is like, because I joke around, but I'm also serious when I say I'm about to move to Japan because I'm like, I'm about to just be out there, what I'm saying, eating good and living as peaceful as possible in like a little spot either on the side of a mountain or like, somewhere between a city and a mountain, something crazy like that, right? That's how I be thinking. But at the same time, I'm like, by the time I get there, even if you learn the language, you're gonna learn that there's gonna be certain people within that country that probably, excuse me, they feel comfortably speaking to you a certain way that's disrespectful. That's like universal. That's damn near international. You know what I'm saying? And you'll also run into people that just try to say little slick stuff. When you come to America, people have little slick ways of talking to each other with English and slang and stuff like that. And not everybody catches it. And no matter what kind of you could be in the most middle class, if not the most uh fucking prominent or whatever, like rich neighborhood, and then people will find a way to say some slick shit to you or about you, whether it's in the vicinity of you or not. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find that everywhere, all around the world. People find slick ways to talk about people. And my whole thing is like I'm trying to get better at just like setting the tone. Like when people say goofy shit to me, I'm just like, oh, that's what we doing? All right, I'm out. I'm not doing that. We're not talking about this goofy shit. No way. Especially like in a public space, public whatever, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm good. Just leave me be. Like, just leave me be. I'm really trying to achieve this. Anyway, I say all this to say, man, shout out to my guy Joe, because Joe's helped me understand a lot of this shit. Shit funny as hell. Dude's like fluent in Italian, but he spent some time in Italy. So he was telling me all these stories. He's like, bro, I'm at the when I get the chance, I'm moving to Italy. I'm gonna be out there. And I was like, word. He started breaking it down for me. He sounded like everything I needed to experience. Whether it's in I think he was saying the southern Italy is a little more warm, kind of like parts of Greece and shit. That Mediterranean area, a lot warmer. So that sounded like a move too. That sounded like one of those moves too. Realistically, I will say, but he had the right mindset because he said, man, I go up to work. I come to work. I do my job. I do necessary things, but I don't entertain all the extra talk that has nothing to do with the job, all the extra talk that has nothing to do with productivity or staying whatever. And I was like, I know I kind of just was peeping what he was saying. I was like, the more you say this, because I think I'm a little bit younger than him. I was like, it resonates, man. It's just what I need to hear right now, because you know, with being in a country where you can make the money that we're making here, for lack of a better term, being able-bodied, um, and then to have a free soul, a free-flowing soul. It's like, yeah, you can just really. It's not even about running from fights. Like you say your piece, and if it don't make no impact, and if it don't whatever, because you can't heal everybody in a day. The same way you can't build Rome in a day necessarily, you can't really heal a soul or like an individual in a day. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say my piece, and maybe that one moment is all people need. You know what I'm saying? Let people know, like, I don't even understand why you're talking to me a certain way. Just that simple. Let your loved ones know, like, if you don't like the way they're talking to you, just let them know. I thought about it the other day too, because my cousin brought it up. They're like, they're bringing up who the fuck was it? Cal Raleigh's nickname is the Big Dumper, and he was like, "Yo, low key, this is a sexual harassment case." And I was like, "I hear what you're saying." Like, no, no, I just feel like that's just been going on for too long. Like, at some point, you gotta stand up for yourself. I was like, maybe I don't see it that way. Maybe I'm seeing it the wrong way, but it's like it doesn't seem that serious. But on a funny note, I could see him just like his whole life just allowing things to go by. But it's like he's also a player that just gets the work done. Does that make sense? So like on a sports level of stuff, like when you actually work out and you actually have the results of winning, a lot of that stuff doesn't matter to you. Like it's just like, yeah, they can say what they want, but I'm out here putting in the work. And it's just like a weird like endearment thing that I feel like a lot of women have embraced. But that's just me. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way because I don't like delve into the details of like, the reason why they gave him that nickname is because his ass is a certain shape. Pause. So it's like I don't be looking at that. I don't care about that anyway. I don't even get into the merch side of it. But I will say shout out to Pat McAfee. because Cal Raleigh did an interview with Pat McAfee after the home run derby, and he said we're not even going to call you that. We're going to call you the Thumper because you out here getting them home runs. And I was like, I prefer that a little more, man. I don't want to hear about no man's dumper. Like hell no, pause on all that. Like I'm good off that. But I get it, for some people it's like yeah, it comes across a certain way. It's funny to them. I don't want to joke about that. I don't even want to think about that. It's goofy. But yeah, I think what was I gonna say? There, I guess in that same regard, what I was trying to say was, some people um they allow stuff to happen to them for too long. I don't know, right or wrong. And I'm not saying like I said, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there is a point of like if using this example, if Cal Raleigh just one day woke up and was like, you know what, man, I'm tired of y'all talking about my body. You know what I'm saying? Because on the other hand, if he was a female softball player and then they were calling that female softball player the big dumper, yeah, it would have been like a fucking sexual harassment case, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because you got to think about, a lot of people watch female softball, like women's softball, because the women are a little more plump, if not like big hips and whatnot, like they're like thicker bodies. But imagine if a girl on there, like a thick woman on there, was nicknamed the big dumper. That's a sexual harassment case, easily. Like they start giving out that nickname, that's bad. But then it's okay when you do it to the dude. So that's why I said I understand her point. So it's just funny how that shit worked, man. It's funny how that worked, don't it? Um, but yeah, I'll be um, I can't remember who I was talking to about this. It was either it might have been Lilith. Oh, it's funny, Lilith is right there. Might have been Lilith in the live stream last time, but we're talking about differences of women and men. But yeah, that shit is crazy to think about. Like that's a wild thing. That's funny. Like I really would just think about you and then you showed up, Lilith. That's wild. That's wild. Can't make that up. But yeah, these are things I kind of ponder on. Past couple of I will say in the month, because literally like last month I was still jobless and whatnot. What's going on, Mars? What the fuck did I just walk into? Mars. There's a professional baseball player on the Seattle Mariners, correct? And his name is Cal Raleigh. His nickname is the Big Dumper. So his nickname is the Big Dumper because shape-wise he has a fat ass, apparently. Pause on all that. Like it's a guy with a fat ass. Now here's my point. If there was a woman's softball superstar with a fat ass and then nickname her the Big Dumper, that would be a sexual harassment case right away. But because he's a dude and they've joked about it for years, it's just stuck. And he's like, I don't know, man. It is what it is. It just stuck. The thing is, the day that he wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, I'm tired of this shit, it'll probably be a case, and they'll probably stop nicknaming him that. Who knows? But that was the point I was making. Was like, I was bringing up that shit. We would be up in arms for exactly. And it's funny because that's why a lot of people watch women's softball, because sometimes those women will be on the thicker side. Like they're a little more plump. In a good way. I say this in a good way because that's my kind of woman. But at the same time, like, you don't make remarks like that. You just go in the comment section and say, "Oh, men of culture, we are here." Like, you just say stupid ass shit like that, which is funny. But like that's like it's literally the same thing. But it's kind of funny how that works. But the point I was making was like, Kyle Riley's he's okay with it, I guess. Like, I don't want to call him dumper because I don't want to think about a dude's ass. Pause on all that. I don't want to think about it, so I don't personally say that. I just say his name, Kyle Riley. But on the other hand, I get that he was just like, I'm just gonna let it, like, it's whatever. I let it slide because he's a guy that puts the work in. Like, he's got the most home runs this year. Think about that. This guy has the most home runs this season, this particular season, and he's a catcher. So that means that he stands behind the plate, catches the ball on defense from the pitcher. The pitcher throws the ball, he catches it. He's the catcher, so he's squatting for 9 innings, catching a ball on defense, and then on offense he goes up there and gets home runs, which is crazy. Did you hear about the WNBA, the corn cob throwing? Hey, so Mars, I thought about it this morning, and I don't mean to laugh at this. It's kind of it's not supposed to be funny, but it's messed up that we laugh about it. But I will say, because those corn cobs, right? Because they're kind of floppy. I don't think you could just throw them straight up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could just throw it like a fucking like a newspaper roll. I don't think you could throw them like newspaper rolls. I feel like you got to wind it up, you got to spin it, and then toss it. I feel like there's a certain physics that go into it, which is kind of funny. I hate to say it that way. but them things be plopping on the court, which is wild. You know what I mean? You know the shade bars. That shit crazy as hell. I don't know how I feel about it, man. I like so at first when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then when it happened the second time, right, exactly. They gotta wind it up. They gotta spin it like 1 360 rotation real quick and then chuck it. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be real quick. But it's like there's so many cameras in the arena, man. They gotta spot you unless you're underhand tossing it. Back to softball throwing, unless they're underhand tossing the corn cob, we don't know. Like we don't know. It's just kind of crazy to think about. But I was laughing because they threw one towards one of the girls' feet. Like this is between plays, and then they stopped the play, and then another girl ran up, and then like she just ran up and did like a kickball punt on one of them and kicked them towards the side of the the sideline basically. But when I saw her kick the damn corn cob, I was like, this is crazy. And the other crazy part is all of them have been lime green for some reason. Like, why are they all lime green? Is this like a thing? You know? They bought that thing at the Seahawks store. That's a lime green joint. That's crazy. In Seattle, we call that action green. They don't even call it lime green. They call it action green or something like that, which is wild. Hey, yo, on all that. Pause on all that, man. Like, it's just crazy to think about. But yeah, shout out to the WNBA, man. I actually ran into my friend last night when I was walking home, and she was like, I need to start going to WNBA games. I got to support the women. I was like, you got to support the women. You're a woman. Like, come on. Like that's one thing, man. You guys got to go see the girls. Because I loved watching. I was watching Sue Birds last year, which was it was heartbreaking, but it was also like it was fun because she was balling out. And then we also still had Brianna Stewart. But then like everyone knows like I love Alicia Clark. That's my girl. Like if I see Alicia Clark, like because I work at the arena, if I see Alicia Clark in the hallways, man, I'm about to propose to her. I'm gonna ask her like what's going on. Like I know she like what? She probably like 5'10". She's probably like 5'10" or something. And I'm like 5'5". I'm like damn, you trying to marry a short king? What you trying to do? Alicia Clark, what are we doing right now? I might have to ask her out. Like, listen, you probably seen it all, but you ain't seen none with me though. I might have to just talk to her. I got to crack at Alicia Clark, man. I love her. She's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And she won a ring with us. She ended up going to the Vegas Aces. She won a ring with Vegas, and then she came back to Seattle. She's in Seattle right now. So actually, I could be wrong. I gotta double check the roster because we have we've got a strong team, but it's like a young core. So we gotta step our stuff up. But Minnesota's kind of tough right now, man. Minnesota Lynx. New York is still good. Who else we got up in there? I don't know. The Aces still got Asia Wilson, but I don't know. I couldn't even tell you who's still there because Kelsey Plum went to LA. It's funny because I only care about Indiana because of Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham. I just like them white girls, you know what I'm saying? They be walking down the damn runaway or whatever, just in the heels before they walk inside the locker room. That's all I be looking at. I mean, they got good game though. Sophie Cunningham's a fucking beast. Lexi Hull's still kind of getting her chops in, but that's a good ass team. But them two girls, they fine as hell. I be watching that low key. That's why most people be watching for the damn tunnel. It's just crazy. But yeah, anyway, the corn cob is disrespectful. Back to that topic. Corn cob is disrespectful. You know? The other name for it is the Dillys. They be tossing the Dillys on the court, which is wild. Crazy work. That's wrong though, man. They disrespecting them females by doing that. That's terrible. They're disrespecting the women, excuse me, by doing that. You know? Women's NBA, dog. They'd be kind of wrong for that. And there was something else that happened. I was thinking about this because I didn't watch the clip, but someone told me about it already, so I already knew what happened. I could be wrong. Maybe I have the story wrong, but there's a dude. It's a baseball player, but he was in the outfit. It's a little funny though. I know, Lilith. I don't mean to laugh at it, but it is a little funny though. It's a little funny. Um, there's a dude that plays in the MLB, and like recently his mom had passed or something. But he was in the outfield, so because he was in the outfield, he was either right or left field or some shit, or he was just somewhere where he's close to the fans. But the thing was, the fans were yelling at him and just cussing him out, saying that he wasn't shit and saying like, "That's why your mom's dead," or your mom. Like they're taunting him because his mom was dead. So then he starts tearing up a little bit. And I don't think, and like realistically, on some man shit, I don't think he was tearing up because he was crying that the dude was making fun of his mom being dead. I think he was tearing up because he's like, on a professional level, if he wasn't on the job right now, playing these 9 innings. If he wasn't on the job, he would have jumped up there and passionately had tears in his eyes while whooping that dude's ass. Because I would have been in that same position. If like my mom had just passed and somebody said something crazy, I probably would have started stealing on somebody easily. But he was over there getting passionate about because it's like, I mean, I get again, I don't know the backstory, but like when you go through shit like that, you be wanting to hurt everything around you because you're hurting inside. So I can imagine he was already going through stuff in the locker room and with his team, and they're like, "Hey man, just calm down. We got you. If you're in the middle of a game, we got you. We're gonna talk to you and all this stuff." But yeah, it was kind of wild. It was like the whole like a fan, a dude who doesn't play at the highest level, like some fucking bum who is in the crowd has the nerve to make fun of someone's dead mom that's playing the game to try to get under his skin, which is like, that's some like early 1900 shit. But at the same time, it's like, bro, he can't professionally go up there and whip your ass like he would love to. That's a case. So you over here taunting the wrong people. So I think about shit like that, man. You know, it's like I guess what I'm saying is like because I wouldn't laugh at that. I don't know if I should laugh at the Dillys. You know what I'm saying? Not to be funny. Like the Dillys is getting tossed, and that's funny. I don't know why it's funnier, but for some reason it is. But the guy, like those are different scenarios. Let's be honest, those are different scenarios. But it's just like, so I'm just trying to have equal respect for like the women's and whatnot, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of saying, I will say too, like shout out to Julio Rodriguez, man. This guy, Julio, for the Mariners center fielder, it absolutely, shout out to Julio Rodriguez, man, center fielder. And second or third in line, I think it goes Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, and then Julio. I think so. I think he's number third in line on the lineup for the hitters. But Julio Rodriguez, man, he was over here signing autographs for the kids. He's signing autographs for the kids. And then some grown man got the nerve to be like, Julio, sign my stuff, sign my stuff. Some grown man, sign my stuff, Julio, Julio. And then he didn't want to sign it. He had to go off and like, do some things. He's like, man, Julio, you a bitch, man. He was talking crazy shit to Julio. So he turns around, like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about, man? What's wrong with you? He's like, man, why don't you do this for me? He's like, man, do you know what it's like to do 9 innings, bro? You ain't never did 9 innings. Can you do this for 9 innings? You ain't on, like, he tried to sit there and he sunned him basically. He was like, you over here worried about an autograph, bro? Like, dude, put 9 innings in, man. We do this for the kids, man. The kids is coming here, the kids that play fucking little league and shit. I want to get autographs. We're gonna sign their shit. Not no grown man begging for this weird. You know what I mean? Like, fuck him. So that's the shit that athletes go through. I feel that way. Like, I have a lot of empathy for like what is this, man? Like, I'll say the Seahawks or something. I'll use them for example. Cause what is his name, man? Russell Wilson. This dude, when he left, everybody was ungrateful. Everybody was like, oh yeah, fuck Russell. He's leaving Seattle. I said, bro, he got you to the Super Bowl twice, and he got you to the playoffs every year. What more do you want? Like, what do you want from him? Like, the dude revived the franchise, got him to we had Matt Hasselbeck take him to the playoffs. I mean, excuse me, to the Super Bowl. Matt Hasselbeck, Sean Alexander, but we had a little small slump. Russell Wilson started stepping his game up. They start building the defense on the other end. Legion of Boom, obviously, you know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, he's part of the reason that we got to the Super Bowl twice. So it's like, what are we talking about? But people wanted to be super ungrateful. They started acting like they owned him. Yeah, he should have gave us a goodbye video, like a farewell. And I was like, no, the way that the city and the organization was treating him, he ain't gonna say shit. But then people in Seattle act like they own Russell Wilson. Like, what? Like, bro, you don't own him. He's his own man. He signs these contracts on his own accord. Like, you don't own this athlete. It's a disgusting topic, bro. Like, people act like they own these athletes just because they play for your city. Like, people were burning LeBron's jersey when he left, and I was like, bro, he can make any decision he wants. I understand it's emotional, but damn, you gonna burn the man's jersey? People are tripping. So anyway, time goes on. Like maybe 10 years later, people start to realize, oh yeah, damn, Geno Smith started getting a bad contract. DK Metcalf started getting some weird stuff. Tyler Lockett was done dirty. Bobby Wagner got done dirty. All these athletes in Seattle started getting done dirty with these weird, funky contracts. And you're like, oh yeah, the Seahawks have a history of this. So I was like, where's the apologies for the Russell Wilson? Everybody has something bad to say about him. Like, yeah, I know he's a corny dude, but that don't necessarily mean that he deserves the disrespect. Like people act like they own him and shit. So that's where I draw the line with Seattle sports, man. People get so mad at shit that's out of the players' controls. And I was like, bro, these people just trying to play the game, do some professional shit, feed their family, everything, but it gets turned into some other shit. But anyway, on that same topic, like I said, I think about it sometimes. You get locked in with a couple friendships here and there. You get locked in with a couple of work relationships here and there, and then People, like I said, people feel like they can talk to you or talk about you a certain way. It goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. It's like people get real comfortable with you just to find a way to disrespect you, and it's just kind of wild. I'm like, I'm not into that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the culture, the majority of that culture being here in this city at least. I mean, I feel like every city, every place got a story to tell. You know what I mean? But I've seen that shit majority over here. Let's tell the truth about it. Seattle sports, man, they be hating on themselves. I was telling my brother this shit like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I be hating these Seattle fans. Like, I love the Seattle sports, but I hate the fans because it's like people always sit there and hate on when the team is losing. I was like, yeah, you know why they hate when the team is losing? Because they can identify themselves with being a loser. They just don't know how to admit it. It's like, yeah, you a fucking loser too, man. That's why you get mad when people are losing just like you, but you love when they're winning, because that way you can like love something other than yourself. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm here with the team through and through, thick and thin. You know what I'm saying? The Seattle Mariners have not been ever to the World Series, and I root for them every year. I say that they go to the World Series every year. Yeah, this year the best chance. I don't care what nobody say. I feel that way every year. I felt that way last year. I was like, ooh. Last year I was like, we're about to go to the World Series. We're about to play the Dodgers. Fuck every other team. You know? I mean, shout out to the Yankees for making it, but it's like fuck every other team, man. We about to show up. And this year I feel the same way. I'm like, if we get our shit together, we're gonna show up. We're either gonna play. I don't know if the Dodgers are gonna make it, but probably end up playing like the Mets or something crazy. Mets or the Phillies. I want to get that rematch with them, run that back, because they fucking us up right now. I'm ready for that. I don't even know who else there, bro. The Padres, who they got? I don't even know who else on that other side. I'll take any team, bro. We'll smack any of them. That hitter lineup is solid. The pitching lineup, we just got to tighten up a little bit, but we all right. Pause. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it right there. We got it. My bad. I'm over here forgetting shit. Ooh. My bad. I had to check yeah. Um well, my bad. Cause there's something going on tonight, so I gotta check these messages. We're good, we're good, we're good. Yeah, man, it's just like I'm not into that, man. I gotta yeah, I feel a way about that shit sometimes. But anyway, that's why I like that I'm actually re-entering the sports world a little bit. I got the email from my coach about doing the boxing not referee, but the judge system. I was about to be part of the judge system for refereeing. They just need more people for their events in particular, especially like with women's boxing blowing up a little more. And we've always had women's boxers up here. Shout out to Queen Underwood. You know, Queen Underwood is someone I trained with when I was a kid. You know, when I first started, I was like 12, 13, something like that. And I was in the gym with Queen. Queen was like in her 20s. And she, to my understanding, because she used to work with my cousins, she used to be a power lifter. So she used to like lift a lot of like weights and stuff. So she used to be a power lifter. She was pretty buff, honestly, for her size. She's about like 5'5", 5'4". She's about my height. And she used to power lift and shit. But then she started refining her muscle physique into like a boxer's physique. So she was retaining her power, but then she kind of just slimmed down a bit, slimmed down the muscle tone, but the power was still there, the energy was still there. And she ended up doing amateur boxing. But she was part of the first team, and I believe 2012, that was part of the first wave of women's boxing Olympics. Boxing women's Olympics. Am I saying that correctly? Women's in the boxing Olympics, basically. So she's part of the first wave of that in 2012. But you know, I had the privilege of training with her since like '05, '06. So to see the journey of her just like staying with the training, and she would go to work here and there. She'd go to work, get off, go train, go to work, get off, go train, and then do amateur fights. She was doing Golden Gloves and shit like that. So watching Queen come up and fight and then become an Olympian, even though she did, I think she ran to Katie Taylor, which is kind of crazy. And Katie Taylor is the person that beat Amanda Serrano questionably 2 to 3 times. You know, which is that's why they ran it back 3 times, because so Katie Taylor's like a fucking beast. But for her to lose to Katie Taylor is crazy. My own coach, my own coach, Trisha Turton, she lost to what is it? She lost to Holly Holm. You know what I'm saying? So the women, the boxing women in my life have really been on fought on like the highest levels, especially like in the 2000s. Um, but yeah, those like it's always been like a thing within the scene. We've always had female fighters up here. So I guess now it's starting to blow up a little more. I want to say it's a mix of boxing and Muay Thai, because I know the coach she's a Muay Thai coach. So she was kind of very adamant about me, like, yeah, you should probably do the judging stuff. And I was like, all right, man, we'll see how it go. I'm gonna sign up for that, make that happen. and we'll see where it go from there, man. We'll see how that go, man. We'll see what will make it happen, bro. You know, I was just a little worried. I was like, I don't want the fate of someone's match in my hands, but it might have to be that way. So we'll see what ends up happening. You know, um, but I'm thinking about, like I said, re-entering the sports world, whether that be boxing or just playing basketball in the fucking community center. I might join some of the runs. I don't know yet. You know what I mean? But it's nice because it's like when you wear and tear the body and mental down, and you rebuild it. That's what training is all about. It's really humbling. So it's like all this humbling shit puts things in perspective. So a lot of times when I dabble back into like the nerd space back and forth, it throws me off a little bit because it's just like people really think about themselves as like selfish adults in a kid's game, and sometimes I kind of draw the line there. But I don't know. I don't necessarily respect it, and I'm starting to lose respect for people. But at the same time, I'm like, man, it is what it is. I'm moving on with my life. Like I'm not sitting here trying to think about people too much that have nothing to do with like what I'm trying to do this year or the next year. So that's just kind of where I'm at with this journey right now. So on some truancy hour shit, we'll see how this ends up looking, man. Like when I think about even doing these, like I said, I don't even like being on the camera like that. But I started doing these. I did my first one technically on Thanksgiving last year. So either I'm gonna go again to Thanksgiving this year, but more importantly, truancy hour number one on the video visual side. Excuse me, the first version was like February or January or something. So like I said, I checked the dates on all this stuff. I'm gonna check the dates on the basketball post. I'm gonna work on the boxing post. I'm gonna try to put that up by Friday, and then I have like we had a BBQ, a Beyblade barbecue, lakeside team tournament. We had that going on Saturday. I did like a quick little montage, like a quick little short. Um, Put some music on it, you know what I'm saying? Threw some whatever on there, typed up all the things, and I just sat there and I threw it on schedule for tomorrow. So, like I said, all these things are in the works right now. All these things are just kind of working themselves out. And like I said, I'm gonna hit the library, work on more logistical things for the channel. Like I said, Dragon Quest 8 is dropping right now. Those videos, and then slowly but surely, a lot of those Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced stuff is unraveling. I don't know if I'm finished with Yu-Gi-Oh yet. Yu-Gi-Oh is probably still unraveling. Probably got like 2 or 3 more videos for that. So yeah, I'm telling you, man, got a lot of things, man. A lot of these things are like, you know how it is. Like, you ever listen to a podcast? Like, I'll give you an example. Someone will have a podcast talking about, "Oh, go watch my new show on this channel." The thing is, they already recorded all of the episodes for those channels. Or sorry, all the episodes for that show. And then the channel is just slowly putting them out every week. That's how my YouTube channel is right now, where it's like you have certain content aside from these live streams. The live streams are more like live, personal, more intimate, one-on-one kind of joints. But like, yeah, I put those out there, and I have them on schedule. I just put them on a certain whatever. So certain things be daily, certain things be weekly. So that's how I try to keep things flowing, man. Put stuff out there because the thing is, whether it hits or misses in the era that it comes out or the time period that it comes out, nonetheless, there's a 24-hour span where like it gets analyzed by the algorithm and it gets put and recognized where it needs to be put and recognized. You know what I'm saying? And people forget like a lot of stuff that I did last year, if not 2 years ago, those videos get found now. And like, you ever find old videos of stuff and people are like, why, man, this is back in 20 whatever, 2012, 2007, why am I just not finding it? So I'm just trying to create more content library stuff that would pertain or whatever, relate to that. So a lot of it is living experiences, but also I'm not doing nothing crazy with my life. So it's like there's nothing wrong with like sitting there documenting how I conduct myself here and whatnot. What's going on, S. Ashley? Jesus loves you. May God bless you. Hey, God bless you. God bless you, man. God is good, man. Let me tell you some, S. Ashley. God is good because last night I was on live stream talking about, Lilith might have been there, but I was like talking about, man, if I see people I grew up with, I like to say hi to them. And sometimes they don't recognize me. Sometimes they don't remember me. And it feels bad that they don't recognize and remember me. Like, I feel bad about myself. But, I realize some people are going through things sometimes. So I should probably let them know I recognize them and whatever, and talk to them. And when I see them, I was like, next time I see people I grew up with or whatever, and I see them, I'm going to just talk to them. Like, fuck how I feel about it. I just feel like I need to recognize them, right? Anyway, towards the end of my live stream, I'm walking home. It's hella dark. I'm under the street lamps are behind the trees, so I can't see nothing. I just said, I walked past this lady walking her dogs. I just saw the silhouettes. I said, hey, how's it going? And then she said, hey, how are you doing? And then she goes like, hey, are you James? Do you remember me? Blah blah blah. And it was just some girl I knew. We knew each other since elementary. Like, we been to the same school. we've been going to the same schools since elementary. You know, like kindergarten all the way to. I feel like we went to the same middle school. Yep, same high school, all that. We just been going to the same school since forever. When I moved down to, when I moved from my house down the street, we were on the same street and everything. So it's like that's why I was like, yo, God is good. You know, we just swapped numbers and we kind of caught up on life for a couple minutes before I walked home. And I was like, hey man, that's crazy how that works. I literally just got done saying this on the live stream, and then here you are just reaching out to me. So that was just us recognizing each other, and then me, like, yo, I got to take this time to really talk to you because I really just talked about this, and I'm standing on it. You know what I mean? I'm only standing on good things, only standing on positive. How do you say, like, positive feedback, but also just positive um, initiatives, positive affirmations as well. So it's funny how that works, man. I'm over here. Look, you need a napkin. Your boy's leaking. Give me a second, man. I used to just sit there and like I'll snatch hella napkins from the goddamn library, you know. Excuse me. It's okay. Sometimes God hides the people He will use because of our calling. The most important thing is that God sees you. Yeah, my bad. Napkin theft is a must. You know, it's crazy. Like whenever they have the tissue boxes, Lilith, I always grab two because I end up using one, and then I keep one on the side just in case. And when I really don't need it, I start pocketing it. So then, like, or I put it in like my backpack, which is funny. And then after a while, I'm like, yo, I've accumulated a whole bunch of napkins. Here we go. You gotta have them. You know, you never know when you need one. I was on the bus. The bus hit a little bump, spilled some coffee on the pants on the way to the tournament. I was like, God damn! Guess what I had in my pocket? Extra napkin. You know what I'm saying? Dab it up. You dab and you blot it. Get the damn Americano out. You know. But yeah, I be thinking about shit like that, man. Like, and yeah, it's actually I'm not religious, but yeah, God is good, man. I can't really, I can't front. Like I've been doing. It's been real decent. You know what I mean? And maybe he used that moment with that girl so he could show you that other people remember you too. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just like it's just little things like that, man. Little things like that be happening. I'm like, I can't even, you know, sure, there's scientific coincidences and whatever ways to explain that, sure. But, I'm not necessarily dabbling in that realm. If that makes sense. I just understand that, like, the way that things played out is the way it needed to play out. And the feeling I got from it, like, I know what that is, you know? I know what that is. Oh, I got to toss this little napkin here. I'm aware of these things, but I appreciate you being here, though. Yeah. About to walk over. Yeah, my phone was about to overheat. I can tell. My phone is like hella hot right now. I don't know how I got that wrong. I thought the sun was gonna move a certain direction, but I guess not. Hold on, man. All right. But yeah, there it is. Don't litter. Yeah, no littering here. You know, one thing I will say when I went to El Paso, I remember I got off the bus, and this bus is dusty as hell because it's kind of like a dry deserty area. Dusty ass bus. I got off the bus, went to the university area. First thing I seen this college student do, he looked like he was from the area. It's interesting. This dude went in and said, no, he didn't say anything. He just got off the bus and like he just saw like hella shit on the ground. He started picking it up real quick and just tossed it away. And I was like, damn, I'm living in, not that I'm living there, but I'm visiting one of those cities. I just thought that was kind of tight because I never seen that shit. You know, I'm so used to being in like Seattle's not a big city compared to like New York or LA, but it's a big city if that makes sense. Like it's a metropolitan area. And a lot of times people just be throwing shit everywhere. Me and my cousin went to the lake and like we were looking over the little boardwalk thing and we just saw like cans, just cans in the fucking lake. And we're like, bro, what is this? Like, who's tossing this, bro? It's terrible. Like right next to the lily pads and like cans. Yeah. Yes, there's Bible stories that says Jesus leaves the 99 for the one. He's chasing after you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's crazy though. He listened to you, so don't believe in coincidence. By the way, oh, you live in Texas? Hell yeah. I look, he was about to move to Texas, Ashley, which is funny. Yeah, people suck, Mars. Just throwing cans in the lake. I was like, this is right on the lily pads and shit. This is terrible. But, you know, it's just people that just they pull up to the park, they get drunk. You know where it was? It was the Lake Martha Park or whatever it's called, and like it was the south side because we were on the north side for the BBAX tournament, but this was like the south side, like right by the water. Wait, you guys don't litter in Dallas? That's good to know. Do not leave us. I'm going to Japan, Mars. I'm about to live on the side of a mountain. I'm going to eat booty. Booty is yellowtail tuna. Get that sushi in. I'll be eating that. I'm be eating like all the styles of ramen. What's going on, Rob? We're just talking about I'm about to move and eat like every style of ramen. That's my plan. I don't even know all the styles of ramen, but they gotta have a bunch. How's it going? You're gonna move to NYC. Actually, do you prefer like metro areas? Does it? I kind of do, man. I like the hustle and bustle of New York. I'll be honest with you. Like it was more my pace. I do like moving around like that. Nah, booty. Buri. If I'm eating some booty, it gotta be the. Hey, that tell you the story about the big booty cougar that I kind of work with. She don't speak English. I'm gonna be on that one. If anything, I'm gonna let her sit on the face. You know. Yeah. Now she thick as hell. She thick as hell too. It's crazy. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being honest. Like I might have to say something. You grew up in Texas, but yeah, I grew up in Texas. Man, come on. And I like the suburbs personally, but I got used to the. Oh, you got used to the. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Over here, it's a good balance. I feel like of because we're like in Seattle, it's like nature slash city. So it's interesting, man. Um, I feel like it's the balance of weather as well. So like we don't get extreme heat, we also don't get extreme cold and snow and stuff. But I feel like Japan, you get a mix of both. It's probably more on the cooler side than it is like hot. So I'm a Texas where it's a little, I'm like by the coast, so like I'm not like super south, but I'm like south. So we'll see how it plays out. But those are my thoughts and ideas on it. Your best friend is there and he likes it a lot. Yeah, I would say go for it. You know, because the thing is, if you're there with a loved one, that makes all the difference. You know, I'm willing to just go and find out what's over there. But I gotta, finish stuff over here for Miami. Oh, that's another thing before I leave the states. If I do leave the states, I want to see Miami first because got to see the women, right? Got to go out there and see that. But yeah, hey, I'm about to get up inside the library. About to do this logistical stuff. I might hop on the Discord or some other things. Oh, we see. No, he lives where? Oh, he lives here. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He probably likes it here then. Like the going from Miami to Seattle, a lot of people like it actually, from what I've met. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get up inside here. Arf, arf, arf. Mm-hmm. All right, love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.